I had low AMH, barely detectable, fibroids blocking my uterus. I had a doctor, luckily, who was willing to work with me, but she told me not to stress about diet. It wouldn't make a difference. I really believed otherwise. I changed how I ate, how I slept, I prayed, and thankfully in one IUI it worked and I had my miracle baby. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. So if you're like me, who you're over 35, you've been told that time is running out, donor eggs are your only choice, your only option, I'm here to share my experience and my hope with you. Hi, I'm Kaysen. I'm a mother and wife, and I know the pain and pressure of trying to conceive after 35. In this video, I'm going to share 3 things that I think helped me on my journey from very low AMH to miracle baby. So if you want encouragement and hope, follow along. There's also a link in the description box below if you want to connect, share your story. We got married at 34. At 36, we started trying to conceive naturally, of course. I thought nothing is wrong, time's on my side. I had already started eating better, tracking my cycles, getting mentally prepared for what was to come. Trying to align my body with what I believe was God's timing. I believed if I gave my body what I thought was the right tools, it would respond. I prayed, I fasted, I hoped, but it did not go as planned. Then came the appointment and the news. My gynecologist told me I had fibroids blocking my uterus, and I wouldn't have been able to get pregnant without some intervention as I'd hoped. Given my age and the fact that I have fibroids potentially blocking my uterus, I should go and see a reproductive endocrinologist right away. That's when I found out that my AMH was barely detectable at 0.105. I mean, that was a blow. Luckily I was sitting because I felt like my body collapsed. I was in tears, and it took the wind out of my lungs. Of course, I asked, was there anything I can do to improve my chances of getting pregnant? Is there any diet or lifestyle changes that I need to be looking at? And my doctor told me, don't stress about it. Egg quality declines with age. It is what it is. There's not much that can be done to improve it, maybe some supplements, but not to add any additional stress to the whole process of getting pregnant with IUI. It's already a stressful process. In my heart, I knew that was not the full story. I didn't want to ignore science, but I knew my faith and my body were not done. My story was not yet over. I had the fibroid surgery. There were more fibroids than expected. The surgery took longer than expected. It was mentally, physically, and emotionally draining, but thankfully everything went well. Before I even had the myomectomy to remove the fibroids, I had to get my iron up because my iron levels had been so low from months and months of heavy bleeding that I had to get cleared before surgery. The surgery came, it took longer than expected. They found more fibroids than expected, and it was mentally and emotionally and physically draining. But I also knew it was a necessary step to getting me to where I needed to be. So we did it. During the recovery from the fibroid surgery, I leaned more deeply into prayer. I remembered scriptures. I watched all the pregnancy testimonials and success stories that I could find on YouTube and on various blogs. I cried. I then went full force in eating a high-fat, meat-based diet. I changed how I slept. I really aligned my natural rhythms, my natural body rhythms to realign my menstrual cycle. And I really tried to create a peaceful and faith-filled environment in my body, in my mind. I was preparing for pregnancy in every way I could. And truly, I felt that it was inevitable that I was going to get pregnant. I was so filled with faith and hope. I kept eating well, sleeping well, trying to realign my natural bodily rhythms, my menstrual cycle, and I was creating a peaceful, faith-filled environment in my home, to improve my mental state. And I was trying to just prepare for pregnancy in every possible way, body, mind, and spirit. Eventually, I felt a peace about doing the IUI. It's not a failure of my body to need help, and that's something I really struggled with. I'm a very independent type person, and I like being able to do things myself. And so I really felt like my body had failed me, that I was a failure. And I came to terms with that everybody needs help from time to time. And so I made peace with doing IUI, to having some form of help to get pregnant. We were prepared for the worst, but of course we were prayerfully hoping for the best, and it worked. It worked. I couldn't wait to get the blood results. I promised that I had said to myself I was not going to do a home test just because there is a chance that it might be a false positive. But I had a test at home, and the day I went to do my beta test, I took the test. It was positive. It had worked. When I saw that positive test, I wrote down, it was the miracle that I had been praying for. It wasn't just about the science. It was that moment. It was that moment that changed everything for me and for my family. God blessed our family with a son who has filled our hearts and our home with so much love and joy and energy, so much good energy. But after birth, I made a mistake. I stopped. I let go of the habits, the food, the sleep, the intentional care, the prayer, because I believed what the doctor had said. You know, she had said, it doesn't matter, diet doesn't matter that much. Just don't add any additional stress. And I started trying to conceive a few years after that, but it was hard. It was so much harder. My body was depleted. I was fatigued. I was not in the same place mentally, physically, or even spiritually. So much so that I really had to dig deep, pray to God about renewing my spirituality, my faith, improving my prayer life. And that's what led to me writing a mother's prayer journal. And it has really transformed my prayer life, and hopefully it will help other mothers to improve their prayer life as well. But my body was depleted. I was just not in the right place to conceive a child. As much as I'd wanted it, my body was not ready. I breastfed for 18 months, and breastfeeding really drains your body, especially if you're not eating a nutrient-dense diet. It was COVID, things were tight, and so diet had fallen to the wayside as well. So I made the decision in January 2024 that I wanted to redouble my efforts, that if I wanted to have another child for my son, that I had to get really serious about my health, my diet, my spirituality, my mental well-being, so that I can conceive and carry a baby again. So, almost 4 years later from giving birth, I made the conscious decision. I'm going to redouble my efforts to nourish my body again, sleep intentionally, pray differently, recommitting to the process. Not from fear, but from trust, from faith. I mean, I don't know how this next chapter will unfold, but I'm hopeful and I'm going to do my part. And I know God is still moving. No matter what it looks like, I know God is still moving. So here are the 3 things I've been doing to support my fertility and to make sure that it is the best that I can make it. Nutrient dense, high fat, animal based foods and diet, resetting my circadian rhythm, which has a lot to do with when I eat, when I sleep, using devices, exercises, all of that, and deep faith and prayer. Because I really believe that if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. Without faith, you're not going to do the things that you need to do to get you to your goal. So you have to believe in your body's ability. You have to believe in the God of the impossible to get some of these things done, and believe in the science of real nutrition. And that's what I want to share with you on this channel. So nutrient dense, animal based foods, resetting my body's natural rhythms, and deep faith. Next week, I'll be sharing with you an interview I did with the gynecologist who caused me to change from an ancestrally based diet to an even more high fat, animal based diet. We'll be talking about so many things related to fertility and fibroids and overall women's health. So I hope you join us then. If you're on this path trying to conceive with low AMH, fibroids, doubt, or all of it, don't give up. Don't let one voice tell you what's possible or impossible. God is writing your story as well. Click the link down below to share your story with me. I'd love to hear from you. If you're on this journey too, connect with me, leave your comments and your questions down below. Share your comments below so we can pray for and support each other. You're not on this journey alone. Let us walk out in faith together, eating good food to boost our fertility.